Greetings, fellow Kerbonauts. Welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Rice here. Welcome to the Mini Shuttle program, Episode 2. Now, it just occurred to me that we need tools. A pretty good selection of tools in order to put this space station together. So, for today's launch, we are going to be bringing up a toolbox to the International Space Station, along with the much-needed KRV, or Kerbal Return Vehicle, which is the dock component of the space station that will be used for return trips in the event of an emergency back to Kerbin. Now, in my original designs for the International Space Station, I hadn't really anticipated using or attaching a toolbox to the space station. And so the part counts and all of that didn't include the essential components that come with the Kerbal Attachment System mod or the Kerbal Inventory mod. So it looks like we're going to be adding in some extra unanticipated accessories to the station itself. What this probably means is the International Space Station might be slightly over 130 parts, but we won't know for sure until we manage to get most of the components together, but we'll certainly see. As a matter of fact, I also had anticipated the need to attach a Kerbal Return Vehicle to the station. Even though technically it's not really part of the space station, I still haven't considered whether or not it would be a permanent piece to the space station yet, but again, we will see. Now we've done a little bit of a time jump here, skipping the stage separation part, orbiting, and also phase transition and intercept there for the sake of keeping this video short. So here we are, docked with the International Space Station, and we have Alice Kerman, our resident space engineer, and Valentina Kerman, who is our pilot for today. So all in all, we have an all-female flight today, prepping and putting together the components for the space station for this mission. And we're jumping ahead at 4 times speed. And the first thing that we brought out is the KRV, or the Kerbal Return Vehicle. Because let's face it, if you're going to keep some permanent residences in space, you never know when an emergency might happen, and you need to evacuate your Kerbals and bring them back to Kerbin as quickly as possible. So essentially, the KRV here serves as an escape pod. Now, I debated whether or not I would be using this, designing actually the KRV to be some sort of similar replica to the Soyuz module, complete with solar panels and whatnot. But then I figured that it would add way too much to the part count, and we really need to push to make sure to keep it around that 130 part count for the entirety of the station. So essentially, it only has RCS and enough battery power to keep life support going until the craft returns back to Kerbin. And now we have Alice popping into our ever-essential assembly module, which will be taking out the toolbox that we brought up into space. Now, the toolbox, again, a component I completely forgot, especially considering that we have the Kerbal Attachment System and the Kerbal Inventory System mods installed in this game, and the parts with those specific mods are essential in making sure that we bring this station together. So we pretty much put everything that we could into that toolbox, and we brought it up into space so that we can permanently connect it to the space station. Now, I was pretty liberal booting out this component way out into space before I decided to jet on in and bring this toolbox into the back end of the main part of the station, partly because I wasn't quite sure where I was going to fit this thing. As far as I knew, every single docking port on the station was going to be used for a certain module, so I had to make sure that the part that I connected this to wasn't going to be docked with for quite some time. So I decided to attach it to the endpoint, and there we go. We had a nice solid dock, and looks like Alice is going to jump on out, and we're going to have her do another quick inspection of the station to make sure everything looks good before going back into the cockpit. And with this mission done, we waste no time at all in prepping to go back to Kerbin. So we activate our orbital descent engines, and we begin the undocking from the station. Now, with everything said and done during this mission, our space station sits at a comfortable 47 parts, weighing in at a massive 10.32 tons. And time for another time skip as we jump into the atmosphere of Kerbin. Hopefully this time making it to the runway. We got Valentina piloting this time, so I have no doubt that we will be able to make a perfect three-point landing on that runway. We got a little bit of a wobble coming in, but something that we can definitely fix. Usually that's kind of an issue, using the flaps on those things to slow us down. I know it probably might be a little more efficient to use something like regular air brakes rather than using the flaps to slow us down, but again, that's going to add a little bit more to the part count, so I'd rather use the flaps anyways. So here we go, coming in nice and easy, and touchdown. Look at that. Let's go ahead and pop out the drogue chute and slow us down, and what do you know? We still got all our parts, all of our wings, everything is intact. Come down to a nice easy stop, and good job, Valentina. Nice job. That makes perfect landing number 2. Well, I count the first landing as a perfect landing, even though we may have been missing a wing, but you know, any landing where we have our Kerbals coming home safe is a perfect one. And with that, I declare this mission complete, and we will see you all next time. Space station, space station, the space station, the International Space Station, space station, station, and space station, station, the space station, the space station, yeah. International Space Station, the space station, the station to the space station, the station, station, the station, the station, space station, International Space Station.